When my daughter was born, she had dark skin and looked like her parents could be of African descent. My husband was furious and accused me of cheating and left right then and there. He told everyone on both sides of the family what happened and wanted a divorce. Then his friends and families all called me to say how upset they were and called me really nasty names. My mother was by my side the entire time as I kept professing my innocence. He refused to pick me up from the hospital, threw my stuff out on the lawn, and changed the locks. When my sister called to get the baby stuff, he texted her a picture of a bare nursery room and said he got rid of everything. He even destroyed my art studio. Eventually, he agreed to do a paternity test and he was 100% the father. No one could believe this, so we did it again and he was the dad. One of his cousins did the ancestry thing and found out there was 30% of African in their family. This made Jim's paternal great-grandmother admit to having an affair around the same time Jim's grandfather was born, and because he could pass as hers, she just assumed her husband was the father. Since then, he's been reaching out and everyone has come to apologize. I told him I needed time and he asked to see the baby and I let him, but I'm too afraid to physically hand her to him. I've never cheated and have been 100% innocent all this time. Am I the asshole for not wanting to give him a second chance?
Part 2. So my neighbor, I'll call him Curtis, we're really good friends at this point, but we were always attracted to each other, but because we were in Bible study together and our parents were very religious, we kind of tried to stay away from anything. One day, we're in my house chilling in my room because I knew my mom wouldn't be home for a while, so I told him to just come upstairs. We ended up eating Pop-Tarts and watching a Netflix show. The whole time I was mustering the courage to tell him that I really liked him because I really felt that I wanted to be honest with him instead of just lying to him, and the whole reason why I even got into the Bible study group was to be with him, or at least spend time with him. So finally, I just blurted it out. I said, I like you, and I like you like a lot. He just stares at me blankly, he doesn't know what to say, and I could tell that he was kind of nervous. So I said, do you like me too? He said, yes, you know that I do. And then we started making out. This was the first time I'd ever been kissed, and it was the first time I'd ever had a boy in my room by myself. I kept thinking my mom could come home at any moment, so I told him that he should go home. Suddenly we're on my bed and we're doing things that I'd never done before. Suddenly my door swings open and guess who it is? My mom. Part 3. So my mom swings the door open and she sees us on my bed doing stuff. Of course I'm mortified, I'm super embarrassed. I'm also embarrassed because I know how she's gonna react in front of him. My mom of course just starts yelling her head off. Then we walk over to his house. She proceeds to tell his mom what we did. And then 5 minutes later, my dad walks into their house. I was really afraid of my dad. So now we're in their kitchen and his parents and my parents are just staring us down and telling us that what we did was completely wrong. Then my dad starts saying that we need to get married. I can tell Curtis is freaking out. Of course, I'm freaking out too. His parents actually agree that we should get married. Thankfully, my mom was completely against it and she said absolutely not, they're too young. I literally felt like I was dying. I was obviously grounded for months, couldn't go anywhere, I couldn't do anything, and I obviously didn't speak to Curtis again. Then my mom tells me that Curtis and his family actually moved away. My heart was completely broken. A few years later in college, I contacted him through Facebook. We met up and we've been together ever since. I knew that our connection back then was super strong and it is now.
I'm getting home, I saw the principal at my front door, yes, my fucking front door. As soon as I saw him I hid behind a tree so he wouldn't see me. Then I remembered he asked me to help him kill my mom, so he's definitely here to do it himself. My first intention was to call my mom and tell her that her ex was here to kill her and she needs to leave, but I knew she wouldn't believe me, so I took matters into my own hands. I ran up to the principal screaming and I straight up beat his ass. He was unconscious after, so I dragged his body to my backyard and digged up his grave and buried him underground. I also took his phone and deleted the pictures. Till this day everyone thinks he left town and my mom doesn't know her ex's body is in our told me that he would expose me if I didn't help him kill my mom. Of course I said no, like I would rather have my nudes exposed than kill my own mother. He said okay and posted it on Snapchat and Instagram. I tried to grab the phone but he was way too strong. Nobody from my school saw my nudes yet because they make us put all our phones in a bin until it's time to go home. The whole day at school I was panicking because I know when I go home my mom would beat my ass and tell the whole fucking family. I take the bus home and everyone uses their phone on the bus. I was so fucking scared, like I'd never been so scared in my life. I was sitting next to my friend Rachel when this boy named Carlos looked at his phone with shock, so I knew for sure he saw my nudes. This motherfucker showed the whole fucking bus and him and his homies were all laughing at me, so I broke the boy's phone and jumped out the bus and walked home like a boss. On my way home I saw the principal at my
So I'm making out with this big celebrity in his car. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. Let me explain how he got in his car. We were at the bar flirting and then he brought up acting. He said that if I wanted to become an actress, he would be happy to help me. And he said that he actually was staying at a hotel room nearby. That he had a script he wanted me to read because he thought I'd be great for the leading lady. I was floored. I didn't think he was gonna be moving that quick. I hesitated, but eventually said yes. Once we're in the hotel room, he ordered champagne and we start watching a movie. And he pulls out his laptop and tells me to read the script. As I'm reading the script, we start kissing and doing other things you guys already know. After we finished, I asked him if I could continue reading the script. Then he said, no, I'm good. My heart sank and I thought I was gonna poo my pants. He said, "What do you mean you're good?" Then he said he couldn't cast someone who would just sleep with someone on the first date. Then he just sat on his laptop and ignored me. Of course I left. I was holding back my tears because I was not gonna let him see me cry. Once I got home, I cried and I decided to block him from all my social media. As I was about to block him from my phone, he messages me and tells me to go back to the hotel. This was 2 hours after he told me to leave. But of course, I actually went back to the hotel. I go up to his room and there he is waiting for me. Part 3 is up.
Story of the time a cop went in my car without my permission. So for a while, I was going to people's houses to do their nails. And I would do this in the summer, so a lot of my clients set up a table outside so that the smell didn't smell up their house too bad. I always feel rude to park in the person's driveway, so I usually park outside of their house on the side of the road. And this time in particular, I did just that, and we did her nails outside as well. At the time, my car had temp plates on it because I had just recently got it. And also my car is a BMW 2-door with all tinted windows, so you cannot see inside of it even if you tried. So I could understand why it looks a little bit suspicious. Luckily for me, my nail client's dog ended up running out of the fence into the front yard, right near my car. So I go with her to chase him, and I see the police officer opening up my car door. And I wasn't parked illegally or anything, and my temp plates weren't expired either. So he had no right to be opening up my car doors. So I ran over to my car and I was like, "What's going on? Why are you searching my car?" And he was like, "This is your car?"
After this big celebrity tells me to leave, I leave. But 2 hours later, he's asking me to go back to his hotel room. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. So I went back to his hotel room even though he was a little bit rude. I just couldn't give up the opportunity of dating a celebrity. I show up to his hotel room and he apologizes. He said that he has trust issues from all his past relationships. Then I pointed out to him that he had the hotel room ready to go and that it happened to be just by the bar we were at. He stays quiet and then he says, "I need you to sign this NDA." I read it and signed it, mostly because I just didn't want any trouble. Then he says, "Hey, I want to order dinner for us. What do you want to eat?" Then he said he wanted to wine and dine me. He said that he liked me, but the whole NDA thing really threw me off. We ended up watching a movie and then I go back to my place. The following day he calls me and asks me if I want to hang out again. We had lunch and then I told him I had to go home. He's been asking me out ever since, but I don't know. I kind of get a bad feeling from him. What do you guys think I should do? He is a celebrity.
Hey guys, so I recently made a video about dropping out of college to become a nail tech, and I mentioned how my parents were worried, wished that was a joke, and a lot of people...
Hope you guys liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. It does help support us, and let's know what videos you guys want to see.